I guess we could take her to therapy. My toxic boyfriend takes me to therapy where my therapist says, that guy who brought you here is a real piece of shit. Oh, God. Hello. Welcome back to Therapist Plays Needy Streamer Overload. All right. We're continuing the evil therapist, terrible Peach-on playthrough of this game. And there will come a time where we just do actually take care of Ame-chan and her mental health version of this. But I would not be wielding my therapeutic responsibility to actively make her life worse so that we can talk about the very real, very relatable mental health problems that she and Peach-on really have that parallel those that many of us experience as well. Relationships, boundaries, stress, all of the stuff, okay? I can't talk about this stuff if I don't absolutely push them to their limits. But there will come a time where we're just nice. Now, like I said in the last time, I am in fact very impressed with Ame-chan's resilience because really, despite my best efforts of role-playing a real piece of shit, she's remained in good spirits. And I'm actually very encouraged by some of the things that she says in the chat here. I just reached 100,000 subscribers. This is my first time reaching so many. I don't know what's going to happen from here, so I'm a bit nervous, but it feels good to see my stats climb. I know I'm always complaining about the nerds and stuff, but I wouldn't be here without their support and their faith. I need to thank them for their devotion. They're the ones that turned me from an internet-addicted girl to an angel. Oh. For my next stream, I'm going to talk a bit about the internet and try to tell everyone how grateful I am for all of them. So this is actually one of the main lines of questioning that I would have for Ame-chan, which is that there is a incongruence to the way that she talks about her career online and the relationship she has with the fans, which is that sometimes she's like, these fucking gross nerds, like how disgusting of them that they fawn all over me. But then she talks about how grateful she is for them too. And I'm sure she has seen some of the comments that we've seen on her social media and during the streams that like, there's a lot of people who really appreciate her and find her motivating, and her streams are like a great place to hang out. And so I would ask her that. I'd say, Ame-chan, well, I wouldn't call her Ame-chan as a therapist. I'm too deep in the Peach-on roleplay right now. I would say, Miss Ame. Sometimes I hear you talk about the people you stream for in a very negative light, and they seem to be the cause of a great amount of your distress. And then there are other times where there's these moments of gratitude, and they actually seem to be a source of pride for you. This really sticks out to me. It feels so good to see my stats climb. I'd ask her, in what way does it feel good? Like, just in a accomplishment sense, a pride in your ability to overcome this very difficult thing, or I would want some clarification on that, because I'm very concerned but interested about what her relationship with herself is like. And that incongruence, like sometimes you hate them, sometimes you like them, can be a pathway to insight. Usually when there is some kind of imbalance like that, it's very worth zooming into, because in the contradictions of our character, we can discover our true values, we can discover more adaptive and healthy behaviors when we sort of resolve that incongruence and find out what we really want. Because what does Ame-chan really want? Of course, she wants to be a successful streamer and all of those things, but like, to what end? Does she want to feel proud about herself? Does she want to feel accepted by as many people as possible? I don't know exactly what she wants at her core, but what I know from working with people who are like Ame-chan is that at the core of a lot of things is that they want their world to stop seeming like it is on fire. And with borderline personality disorder and other types that mirror some of these behaviors, that's often what it looks like and is described as like, my world is on fire internally. All of the behaviors that we might see, these sort of explosive interpersonal dynamics, extreme and unhealthy coping strategies like addiction to drugs and self-harm and all of that stuff, like, they're extreme because it feels like we're trying to put out a fire, and the only two behaviors we have are either to extinguish or to avoid. And everything else, even the enjoyable stuff, are so intense and so passionate that they can cause burning, which is what I think we're seeing with like their relationship right now. Like it's a good thing for Ame. She clearly likes Pichan. But like I said last time, it is an unhealthy dynamic. And unfortunately, the way I'm playing Pichan is that we are like gasoline for this girl. Like just the absolute worst for her. And she is gasoline for me. I swear to God, if you ignore me. No, this is, like I said, her world is on fire. And now the flames are carrying over to us. That really hurt Pichan. JK, I don't care either. But I kind of love this about her. She's hilarious, honestly. Okay, we gotta get back on stream though. I know we've already made enough to make rent, but we gotta go bigger, okay? The fire in our lives will only go out when we have achieved astronomical success. So in the meantime, let's spend some time together. This is bring our stress down and bring our affection up. Okay. I'm taken aback by all my lovely fans, that is. I'll always be your one and only, so don't worry. Nothing good comes from pursuing romance. What's better than playing games and watching anime and going to the company and getting hugs from Pichan? Nothing. Your SO could never. Yeah, what I'm really fearful of is that she just doesn't have a sense of what the limits are or need to be right now as far as like how far we should take this or how far the relationship should go. Like, it really should not be this high, but we're going to keep pushing it. Because like I said, it's going to bring up some really interesting stuff. Got a bunch of letters in the mail that say something about taxes and the national pension. Is this one of those things that I have to pay? Look, don't worry about that stuff, Ame-chan, okay? You let me handle the finances. You don't worry your pretty little head about it. Fine if you don't care, then it's over between us. Just kidding, I would never leave you. God damn it. I hate that sticker. I love it, though. But once again, like, as much as I am actively trying to be a jerk, I really appreciate that she tells us this. Like, she could very easily be terrified of confronting us or being assertive about something like this. But, like, that's great, Ame-chan. Like, you should be speaking your mind. Tell Pichan that you hate this sticker if you actually do, because you need to speak your truth. Okay. Well, we still got plenty of time, so let's go out to one of these places. This will boost our affection and lower our stress. I'm actually really curious to see what that combination looks like. Like, going way too high on the affection, but bringing the stress down. Let's do it. Let's throw some gas on it and see what happens. Okay, what do we got here? Going back to my cave like the nerd I am. Guess how much money we spent on our date today? None! Guess where I took this pic? At the top of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. I love to not spend money. Okay, so we know that she values being frugal. All right, well, we didn't stream today, but that's okay. My silver award for getting 100,000 subscribers is here. Pretty good for someone who just started out like me, hee. If I keep this up, I'll become a legendary streamer in no time. Do you even know what you're okaying at? Not, not particularly. Love. I'm very proud of you, Ame. I want a game. I want a game. I want a game. I want to. I don't want to do anything else. I want a game. If you won't play with me, then I'm gonna. Okay, I think we're starting to see the effects. If I love you too much, I might be hard to handle. Okay. She's sort of taking over her own schedule. My special talent, knowing the difference between dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. I mean, it's actually great information to have. It's kind of great for you, Ame. Head pats for that. Head pats for good psychoeducation. Let's see. Okay, let's spend some more time together. Stress coming down, affection going up. Blah. I got too into playing rhythm games and my neighbors started banging on my walls. My room is turning into an RL rhythm game. Pichan's the only one that doesn't care about who I was in the past or all the shit that happened. Please stay with me forever. Sorry, I know I'm crazy for dropping forever like that. And here's where I would again point out some imbalance, which I would say, okay, Ame, you know, you always talk about how much you love P-chan and how he's the best thing for you. But all of the conversations that you have shared seem to include quite a bit of dismissiveness, a lack of attention to like what you're actually saying. Like, okay, I'll take the meta aspect of we can only send stickers and just assume that like, even if we could communicate with her, we basically ignore everything she says, like, and just send whatever fucking sticker we want. And she's onto that. She's onto us. Like, do you even know what you're saying okay at? I would ask her, like, do you think it's important for you and your partner to be on the same page with communication and this sort of thing? And unfortunately, I would imagine she would say no. All that's important is that he loves me. And just sweep all the shitty behavior under the rug. Okay. It's time to go on stream. Bitches be like having 174,000 side tweeters on bitches. I'm dead. Okay. Stream time? Oh, don't freak out, am I? Ugh. What? Now what? Like, she actually seems fed up with us. Like, it's unfortunate. It does come into therapy sometimes, where they're like, oh my God, I just love this person so much. And I'm like, but when you talk about what he says to you, it sounds really shitty. This is just a dependent relationship more than anything else. I think it's all right here in her post. P-chan's the only one that doesn't care about who I was. I think that is because he literally doesn't care, at least this iteration. Okay, let's get on stream. Let's do the 100K thanks stream. Nice bonus to our communication here. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit actually this time. Hey cuties, it's me, K-Angel, the internet angel. We did it, y'all. 100,000 to celebrate. I'll tell you guys a bit more about myself. Okay, yes, this is where she allows herself to be a little more genuine. I'm an angel that came down to earth from heaven to save everyone. Well, what the fuck am I talking about? She's in character. Thank you for coming to bless us. It's great. It's so gross down here. You should go back. The chatters are actually funny. The internet is oversaturated with users and content that's hard to tell what to believe in. That's very true. I actually think she's super insightful. Whenever you feel lost, I want you to know that you can believe in me. I believe in you. Oh. I believe in you. Save us. Well. And all believers will be saved. Okay, that is a little bit like... it's a little bit much. I'll always be by your side. I'm so glad to have met you. You don't really know her. Whenever you feel the loneliness crushing you, and when you're anxious, or if you just need a cry, just come on down to my channel, and I'll be waiting here for you with a smile. Oh, that's nice. Your smile is so bright, enough to illuminate the hearts of all 100,000 of us. My anxiety scares me. I was saved by you. I know what it feels like to have nothing and no one. Oh, I skipped school a lot, so I didn't have any friends. Only the people online cared about what I had to say. I love it when you're vulnerable. Go to school. This is so accurate, like just the range of comments. I was bullied a lot at school for being so cute and pretty too. Jealousy is a disease. Every single sentence she says is like a therapy session. I also got made fun of for being socially awkward and stupid and messed up in the head. So I know how it feels, and now I want to be here for anyone that needs it. She alternates from these like kind of delusions to very like sincere things. As long as you have faith in me, I will find you within the darkness. Please watch over me. Remember, you're never alone. Bless. Okay. I can't promise to save everyone because that would be a lie. That's that's exactly what you just did. But if just one person can be saved by my presence, then I would say it was worth descending to the internet. I love you. I draw pics of you every day. If my smile can grant souls salvation, then I'll keep smiling for all the viewers on the other side of the screen. And this is where, again, I would be like, okay, Ame, what do you really want? And it's okay to want multiple things. I want to be liked by people, and I also want them to feel like I'm a safe place for them to return to. But a lot of incongruence and a lot of dissatisfaction with yourself comes from having a goal and looking at your behaviors. And when these two things are harmonized and they're going in the same direction, we tend to feel okay. But a lot of times they're not. For me, the way this comes up is often like related to this channel. Like I have a goal often daily to like work on the channel, make a video, right? But my behaviors don't often align with that, right? I come home from work and I am like too tired to record something, or I come up with a reason why I like can't or shouldn't this day. And so I'm not in harmony here. And that tends to lead to like a lot of dissatisfaction. Like my behaviors are not aligning with my goals. We tend to take that inward and it causes like a hit to our self-esteem. And so you either have to do one of two things. You can change the behavior so that it aligns with your goal. But sometimes my goal is unreasonable. And my goal might be to like record multiple hour-long videos every day and edit them and upload them and all of this stuff. And so like, yeah, more often than not, my behaviors are not able to meet that goal. And I feel more and more incongruence and more dissatisfaction. But if I keep focusing on changing the behavior to meet the goal and I keep failing at it, one, this is going to burn me out faster, right? And it's also going to just make me feel like I'm failing to achieve the thing I set out to do. And a lot of people get stuck here because they just keep trying to change behaviors to meet a goal without actually trying to reevaluate if that goal makes sense. It does not make sense for me to like have that goal of multiple recordings all the time. And so I have to accept that like, okay, it's one of these, right? If I want to feel okay with my life, my goals and behaviors need to be aligned, and they're not, and I'm struggling to change a behavior. So I have to accept that that's actually not my goal. My goal is not to overwork myself to the point of either losing enjoyment or like the quality of my work suffering. And so when I change the goal, right, and I make it smaller, like recording something once, even every other day or every 3 days, which I've actually been trying to scale down to recently, then I find that, yeah, I can manage that. And suddenly my goal and my behaviors are more aligned, and there's a harmony between what I say I can accomplish and what I can accomplish. So you either change your behavior to meet the goal, or you have to accept that the goal you have is not working or is unachievable, and you have to change the goal and accept the behavior that you have or that you're capable of right now. And Ame is very twisted up with like lots of different goals. They're very extreme. Sometimes they're like astronomical, like I gotta save everybody, but sometimes they're also like, I just want, you know, just one person to be saved by my presence. And there's so much incongruence in that. It's like, okay, my goal is to help people, but my behavior is I like insult and demean them sometimes. My goal is to like stream all the time and be super successful, but my behavior is sometimes I have to take a break and sleep. And despite that being a good thing, a good behavior, it causes like a negative reaction because we're not meeting the goal we set. The problem I see in that is that the behaviors that she is seeing as like not working towards her goals are actually the things that are like often good for her, like fucking slow down, take a break, spend a little less time with Peach-on for fuck's sake. But because those are behaviors that don't work towards these like really unrealistic goals, she says, all right, that's the thing I have to change, because the goal has to stay the same. The goal has to be as loved as possible, be accepted by as many people as I can, accomplish as much as I can. And more often than not, I think that yeah, will lead you down the wrong path, which is, it's okay to reevaluate your goals if you can't accomplish them right now. It's way easier to change a goal actually than to change a behavior, right? Because it just requires you to take a good look at what you're trying to achieve and asking yourself, do I have the capacity for this? I think motivation in general is made up of a willingness and a capacity to do things. And what I see in my behavior is like, I have a willingness often. I'm willing to fucking put the time and effort into something, but like, I just don't have the capacity, like just being honest, right? But we often ignore that and say, well, if I am willing to do it, then I can force the capacity. I can force the behavior to reach a unrealistic goal, because I think we just consider willingness enough often. Ame is like willing to stream all the time. She's willing to do extreme things to get ideas for content. She's willing to go deeper and deeper into this relationship with P-chan, but like, does she have the capacity for a lot of these things? Is it sustainable? Probably not. And so my work with her would be on kind of two fronts. One, which is like calming down the ongoing fire that is constantly burning in her life, both meaning like the chaos of every corner of her life, like is literally on fire and degrading, or that even some of the things that she wants in her life are really, she's too in deep with them, like spending too much time with P-chan and too much time online. And the other thing would be like learning to listen for that signal of like, what is your capacity to reach these goals? And if you don't have it, if you find that it is unrealistic, then we need to change the goal. Because I think when these two things are aligned together, and when these two things are aligned together, life seems a lot more manageable and you feel a greater sense of trust in the direction that you're going. That's also why I find P-chan to be such a negative influence, because I feel like we are influencing her goals, right? Like she wants this stuff too, but I think the behind the scenes messages were just like, we gotta get you on stream. We gotta get on faster. We gotta get more followers, more. Your fucking stress is only at 23. You still got gas in the tank. And we're ignoring like, what is her capacity for this stuff? And we're also encouraging like pretty negative behaviors as well. Hey, do you think it's okay for me to keep living like this? What? The tone of all of this just changed. Ooh, I think even though P-chan, this one at least, is like kind of a dirtbag, I still think that we would show concern. What's wrong? Just thinking about stuff. I was just wondering if anyone even missed me if I were gone. They don't have to watch me. They can just go watch some other streamer, right? Oh, Ame-chan. What the fuck? I do not even have the capacity, even in a role play, to tell her this. I think my own capacity for being a shitty dirtbag producer, boyfriend, whatever, is being like dismissive and lacking awareness of the consequences of the pressure I put her under, but I can't bring myself to be that malicious. No way. You're just saying that. Do you really like me for me and not because I'm pretty? Oh, no. This is why it was never valuable to get so deeply attached and to have this much affection, because ultimately, like, the relationship is not built on solid foundations. I think the more dependent on us she's grown, not only just for her livelihood, but because we're this like center of attention and affection and validation for her, it's like the more insecure she gets about it, because it's all she has. What if P-chan gets bored? I know I said I was doing the evil therapist thing, but I just can't do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. I always bail out on being an asshole. Well, duh. I see. Yeah, of course. What do people even like about me? Well, I think everything. I think that the people who show up to your stream find you an inspirational person. As if no one wants a factory defect like me. Oh, Mei-chan, I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to live. Please live. course you're allowed. And unfortunately, this is like at the extreme end of what having incongruence with your life and your goals and your behaviors and pushing yourself to your limit can create. We all have a little bit of imbalance in our life, but when things are so out of balance like this, the gap between what you're doing and what you want and what you feel like is best for you becomes so large that creates more and more uncertainty about, like, is anything I'm doing correct? Is anything about me good? Like, my goal is for everyone to love me, but out of my behaviors, what we're seeing is I really dislike myself, or I think I'm a defect. Oh, this is like gotten really, really sad. Of course you're allowed. That's such a half-baked response. It did make me laugh a little. I shouldn't take life so seriously. Thanks, Pichan. I love you. Do you love me? I hate you. Oh my god, this is so cruel. I can't do it. Yes, I love you, Ame-chan. Oh god. That's also not great for her right now, though. Do you really love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Love me? Yes, I really love you. Oh my god, this is fucked up. What should I do? No, I hate these options. Live as the internet angel. No, like this is like really not great for her. Is there an option to tell her to like quit streaming? What about do your best in life? Like how? That's so fake. I know. It was literally that, or tell you to kill yourself. I was feeling really awful about everything, but after talking with Pichan, I feel like I can keep going. Pichan bullies me sometimes, and I can be really flaky, but it's... Oh, shit. It's speeding up. It's times like this where I remember that I really do love Pichan. Well, we should... That girl, he should not... Why are you accepting this? That he's a fucking bully. Oh my god. It's just... We're just right back into it. Every time I have to talk to nerds, I take psychic damage. I don't have the energy to do anything today. I just want to go on a date with you and have some fun and forget all about the idiots on the internet. We've created this. I've created this. I've created this scenario specifically to talk about it, and now I hate it. I hate that I'm here. It's super interesting to me, though, that sometimes she just completely takes over and we have no choice but to do what she says. I do not think we've consoled her. I don't think we've done anything meaningful at all in what we said to lessen her threshold for depression or anxiety or self-hatred. I think we have only the capacity so far to make things fundamentally worse for her. But hey, we don't have a choice. I mean, we got to keep the grind going. So let's take her out. This what, huh? She really fucking hates this thing. Just this. I don't understand why she hates it so much. I don't know. Fine. You know what? Fine. Fine. I don't care. Oh, actually, I do care. God damn it. She has me flip-flopping now. This conversation is so bizarre. God damn it. This makes no sense. All right, well, Ame-chan wants to go out with us, and I have to do what she says. So let's go. Well, I guess these are all kind of the same. They kind of all do the same thing. I mean, therapy is literally the best thing that we can do. This is such a weird combination. Like low stress, low mental darkness, but maxed out affection. I guess we could take her to therapy. My toxic boyfriend takes me to therapy where my therapist says, that guy who brought you here is a real piece of shit. Oh, God. I would never say that for the record, but boy, do you sometimes feel it. But speaking of therapy, I want to circle back a little bit to when Ame-chan talked about her experience with bullying. To me, this is the most tragic thing about her character. Because here's the thing. Many, many kids get bullied. And no matter the rest of the circumstances of their life, that can always be damaging to our self-esteem, to our trust in other people. Like, it's always going to cause insecurity about the thing that you're getting bullied for. She talked about getting bullied for like her appearance and for being like awkward and stupid, messed up in the head, she said. And despite like that being a very unfortunately common experience for young kids, you can endure this. You can go through a bullying experience and come out of it with less deeply rooted self-esteem issues if you have the proper sort of like parental and community support, like from teachers, school system, peers, whatever. People who can help you understand like what's happening and can kind of provide you with other perspectives around the one that we tend to be stuck with, which is like, oh, I'm being bullied for this thing because this thing must be wrong about me. It's inferior to other people, or it makes me less than in some way. What I find fucking tragic about Ame, especially when we think about some of the things I was hinting at before about maybe what her home life is like, is that as kids, and what I'm about to point out is going to basically explain everything we need to know about Ame and why I find this so tragic, and is why it's so difficult to work through these types of things later in therapy, is that when we're kids, we go through these stages of development where our brains learn to comprehend aspects of the world and people, and as toddlers, like between, let's say, age 2 to 7, we're very egocentric, which means that we're not yet capable of understanding that other people have different perspectives of us. Like, we're not able to separate the way I feel from someone else and the way I see things as being different than someone else. Like, we just can't comprehend that, like, I'm upset. Why isn't like everyone else upset? We're literally unable to separate our experiences from other people's experiences. And we need that stage of development to truly understand how to start being independent. Right? Like, we need to go through this discovery that like, I'm hungry, but that doesn't mean my mom is hungry, right? And like, this is our first little taste of independence. And we learn this by like throwing tantrums and like not getting someone to have the same reaction that we're having. And so like, we tend to grow out of this egocentrism somewhat naturally. But if you don't have very involved parents and who are scolding you for being upset, not giving you a space to process emotions, even at this very young age. Like, a 7-year-old still needs to talk about things that are going on with them, especially if this bullying stuff was taking place around that age. But even if it happened later, between ages like 7 and 11, we start to be able to understand that people's perspectives differ and their experiences differ. So what are the implications if someone has like kind of stunted maturity, stunted development, because there aren't good role models? There aren't people who are educating you and providing you with like support and emotional comfort and even just context to say like, those bullies don't know anything about you. Like, even simple shit like that. Like, this is not fucking high grade parenting, like just like the basic level of fucking support and attention. And we can start to develop some resilience to these sorts of things. But if that does not happen, think about what is going on. We may get stuck with some of this egocentrism, this like very self-centered view of the world, and personalize things and think like, oh, I'm being made fun of for the way that I look. And so like, that must be justified. I'm feeling bad about my social awkwardness and for feeling stupid. And so everyone else must feel this all of the time. Like, we're not able to separate that some people don't think we're dumb or messed up in the head or socially awkward. We can't comprehend that like friends of ours and parents and supportive figures can hold like a more dynamic view of us. Our feeling about like being insecure about this starts to get attached to everyone around us. And then as we grow older, right, become a teenager, become an adult like Ame is now, like there's still a part of her that when she feels bad about something, she thinks everyone else feels just as bad about it. So if I'm feeling dumb, it must be because everyone thinks I'm stupid, like actually. If I'm feeling unlovable, it must be because I actually am unlovable to everyone. And so like this is why this subject it pains me more than most others when it comes to like therapy and developmental psych, because look, I'm not a parent, and I reserve some of my own insecurity about what that would be like, because I know how fragile a young child's mind is. But I also fundamentally am like, okay, well, sometimes the essential things that a child needs to develop in a healthy direction are not that fucking hard. They're like, give attention to your child. Talk to them when they're upset about things. Give them space to process their emotions. You do not have to be a fucking expert in developmental psychology or in parenting to like just be a fucking present parent. And maybe it's just because of the time that I come into people's lives as a therapist, like someone like Ame, who's, you know, well into their adult life. I encounter them and I find that they have pretty extreme reactions to most things. They take everything really personally, really sensitive to small comments. They personalize any perceived amount of judgment or rejection, and those are blown up to like ridiculous proportions, like very, very reactive. And I can just see the emotional scars of someone who just never got a fucking chance to like learn at a very early age what it's like to be consoled, what it's like to have someone tell you that the things you're being bullied for are not your fault. The way that you feel about this right now does not mean that everyone really thinks that. Like a fucking 15-minute conversation with the child at that stage after getting bullied, like, could have potentially changed the entire trajectory of their mental health. And so I'm like, no, okay, like it's really not that fucking hard at the end of the day. And I'm here sort of like trying to help this person learn something that they really needed to learn when they were much, much smaller and their brain and perspective was more malleable. Because it's not easy to teach an adult, like, to abandon this egocentrism. It's very difficult to teach them this decentration. It's the opposite of that. Being able to like decentralize your experience from others and think dynamically, like me trying to teach a traumatized adult who really needed to learn this as a child through like natural interaction and parenting is like kind of a fucked up thing for me to have to do. And so I get frustrated by it because I'm like, oh, like you just gave me like the extra hard mode of something that could have been fucking simple for you. And this is like super judgmental of me, I know. And it's one of my like, you know, areas of needed supervision sometimes where I do struggle with some empathy towards that. And there's all kinds of, you know, complicated family dynamics where this sort of stuff could have like not happened and it wasn't due to direct neglect or that sort of thing. But I just, I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of it when you have someone who I can see at their core wants to be a kind person, wants to be loved by people, but like probably doesn't want this overindulgent, obsessive feeling of attachment that Ame actually has towards Pichon and like her fans. I talked about this in the last time, like people with BPD and like other intense kind of personalities, like they don't want to fucking feel like this. No one wants to feel like this. It's like really exhausting. It's on fire, like I said. It leads to all kinds of self-destructive compensation because those only two behaviors that we're left with, extinguishing and avoiding. And when that fire is burning a feeling of being stupid, I'm going to extinguish that by maybe insulting someone else's intelligence. Or I'm going to avoid it by never really speaking my mind about things that I actually care about. When the fire is like my appearance and the insecurities I feel about that, I'm going to extinguish it by overdoing my appearance, like elevating it to a level where it can't be ignored. So you get more of that histrionic flair of like needing to be kind of the center of attention and like, you know, using your body and sexuality to sort of attract more and more attention. That being the center of your validation is whether or not people like you or are attracted to you. Or I'm gonna avoid it and I'm like not gonna try to make myself appear pretty or show myself off even to a healthy degree. Like I'll find a very difficult time being proud of my appearance or difficulty accepting compliments of others when someone says like, hey, you look great, and like the fire just lit, and now you want to avoid that feeling because you're not used to it. And there's a little bit of that egocentric stuck point in their lives that tells them, oh, well, but I don't feel pretty, so you probably don't think it either, and you must be lying to me. So like now we have a hard time accepting compliments. We don't trust people who say nice things to us because we think that they're either being misleading or just trying to bully us, like we know from before. And it just creates this like cycle of exhausting insecurity that was fucking preventable early in the child's life. And I just see this like in everything that Ame does. There's just this stuck point of maturity around not being able to sort of separate her experience from other people's. I love Pichan. I love him so much. He must love me to the same degree. I hate myself. Everyone must hate me. In both directions, it's unhealthy. Like when we're feeling insecure and we say something negative about ourselves and think everyone else feels it, like, oh, I'm really unworthy of attention. Everyone must be rejecting me secretly, even if they're actually giving me a bit of attention. Or even in the positive side, like, oh, you know, I'm feeling really proud of myself. You know, I just got this 100K. Everyone must love me. Like it just in both directions. It becomes unhealthy for your sort of working model of reality. So what do you need to do at this point? Like how do I treat this when I see that this is kind of the problem we're circling around, like this hyper-personalization? Well, what's developing in the young child at this age is actually empathy. Empathy is the thing that helps you distinguish your experience from other people's, and to hold the idea that like, even though I didn't do that or I didn't experience that, I can sort of try to understand how they felt. And I don't think Ame-chan is like devoid of empathy, not in the slightest. I think she doesn't know how to apply it to these specific circumstances. She wasn't given any empathy as a child, like especially by the bullies, but maybe also by her parents or other kids. And so she's just not used to applying the empathy that she has that shows up when she's like, I want to save all of you. Like this is very like genuine kindness, even if it's a bit grandiose sometimes, that's worth tapping into. And like, how can we learn to apply that to the more minute circumstances? And so there's a couple ways that I might go about this, but one of the most powerful that I find is role play. It can be kind of abstract to sort of give scenarios and say, what do you think this person is feeling in this circumstance? Like, I actually want her to be as close to the feeling of empathizing as she possibly can, which is going to take place when she's engaged in the natural dialogue where empathy needs to come through. And so I might do one of my favorite roleplay exercises, which is the empty chair. And the empty chair is essentially like putting a literal empty chair in front of a client and having them imagine an important figure. It could be, you know, I want you to talk to your younger self, you know, at the age that you were being bullied. And there's something really special that happens when you do an exercise like this, because so long as the client is bought in, and sometimes they do struggle with it a little bit because it's either too awkward or as soon as they start, so much feeling comes up that, again, the fire is on and we avoid. Like I've done an empty chair where just putting the empty chair and having them imagine a younger part of themselves was enough to like, they wanted to shut the whole thing down. And it's like, okay, there are some things in need of confrontation here, like some emotional stuck points, right? But I know that she would be able to do this because of the way that she talked about it. Like she was able to look back on those moments and say, oh, I was bullied for this. And she can recognize that she's kind of overcome parts of it. And so I would probably start her off with the dialogue of like, what would you say to little Ame-chan, right? If she came to you and said, I was bullied at school today. I would also have her maybe take the role of the child or describe what the dialogue might be, because there'd be something really powerful, I think, behind like little Ame-chan is feeling really insecure and really unvalued and hurt by everything that she's experienced at school today. What does she want to talk about? Like, what did she want to say about her experience that her parents never fucking listened to? God damn it, there I go again, like slipping into, this is something I need my own empathy for. What is something that little Ame-chan needed to say that she didn't have someone to say it to? What is something that she needed to hear? Like, essentially, you're teaching them to kind of reparent themselves, and you're there as a mediator to provide like good modeling for, if they go back off track or start bringing out some of the language that their own parents use. Like, maybe I'd tell her to chin up, and it's like, okay, but when you heard that as a kid, what did that feel like? Like, you're teaching them to reparent and develop empathy for themselves using themselves. It's an incredibly powerful technique. Almost always leads to like lots of crying and breakthroughs, and just one of my favorites in general for all kinds of stuff. There might even be some value in saying like, I want to see what the dialogue between Ame and K-Angel would look like. And is there parts of the relationship to explore there? Or sort of public and private persona? Should we put mom or dad in the empty chair and like see what kind of dialogue we can come up with? It just has this way of surfacing really deep psychological material in a unique way that is less analytical and abstract and more interpretive than like her talking about her childhood experiences and her talking about mom as this like figure or concept in her life. Like, there's a separation between the content and the process there. And when you do the empty chair and the dialogue is coming out, all of that stuff is present. Like, we're not just talking about mom, we're talking to mom. We're not just talking about the fact that dad made us feel afraid. We actually are afraid talking to dad. And so we're not just talking about how, oh, I feel sorry for myself as a kid and I needed to be consoled. We are actually consoling presently, really. And that can sort of unstuck some of these feelings and points of maturity that have just sort of been languishing. And the more of it you do, like, the less I even have to get involved, right? Which is another reason why I really like it, because it's very client directed at some point. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about her experience with bullying. It's fucking tragic. It's unfortunately not always the case that the bullying is preventable, but like how a child experiences and processes the aftermath of that, it is often pretty preventable. And if you missed out on that experience because you didn't have the support as a kid, there are ways to restore those things later on. Which is another reason why the situation that Ame is actually in is fucking terrible for her, because the figure that she is going to for most of her support is Pichan, who is not, I'm sorry, is not capable of managing all of the things that I just discussed. In fact, like I said, we're more likely to fucking pour gasoline on the whole thing, so best we can do is take her to therapy and hope that her therapist knows their shit too. All right, it's nighttime. I feel like Akiba's more of a tourist trap now than the anime wonderland it used to be. So sad. Oh. Sad kitty. Well, it's time for another stream then. Let's see what we should do now. So we gotta get a new stream streak going. Let's just do some gamer stuff. Still great. Still doesn't get old. Just went to Akihabara. That place is now filled with more maid cafes and crime gangs than anything. But I work at a maid cafe. I've never been to Akihabara, but I want to go. I'm glad the retro game shops are still doing well. I bought a game about vampire hunters who go into this evil castle. I love the gothic vibes and how, like, epic the OST is. The boss battles are pretty hard, but oh well. It's true gamer. Why do you have the taste of a middle-aged man, LMAO? This is a retro... I completely understand why she calls them fucking idiot nerds. I want to play the entire series, but a lot of the games are really hard, are really rare and hard to find. Do you play games on Steam? That's pretty clever. Why not play some more recent games? Why not get the fuck out of the chat, loser? You're actually pretty good at games. But I won't give up, not until I've hunted and killed every last vampire. Bless. Pretty reasonable stream there. I completely see why she calls them all nerds and idiots. I'm an angel, so it actually makes a lot of sense for me to slay vampires and evil creatures and stuff. Okay, Angel, you bought your follower. Can I delete these people? Let's see how long you can stay relevant for. Why do they do this? Get a life, you nerds. Let's plays are pretty standard as far as streams go, but the smallest slip up can make you lose viewers. I'm kind of scared to do them. Just giving me flashbacks to some of the decisions I've made in these games. People really do get invested, and when you make the wrong decision, boy, is it bad. It's a really big bet you have to place on your skills and how well you talk. I feel like I learned a lot this time. Very introspective. Day 17. Hey, Pichon, I love you. I love you too. Okay, it's just... Wow, thanks for another great night last night. I love you. Love. Oh boy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for this. His Pichon sucks. Pichon, I love you. Oh no. What is going on? Love. She couldn't handle the overdose of love. What? What? Ground control to psychoelectric angel. Thank you for dosing. That's... What? We literally love bombed her to death. Okay, well, I guess that was our first ending. Damn. Well, Ame, it wasn't the fate that I would have hoped for you. Literally consumed by love for the biggest loser, most toxic Pichon. What is this? What is this? This is like her stream. What I can type? This. Okay, this must be like a, I don't know, stream creator or something. Oh, that's clever. Well, so concludes our first ending of Needy Streamer Overload. And I think the main takeaway for me for this ending is that the situation with Pichon got very much in the way of some reasonable goals. Like, she wants to be a streamer, she wants to be successful, wants to be liked by people. I don't think that those are bad goals to have. I think that the incentives of being online amplify them to unrealistic degrees, which also create unrealistic expectations on yourself, on your audience, on all of these things. And yeah, I can definitely resonate with a lot of what she's going through here. As I've been thinking about my own capacity and that it does not always meet my willingness to do more. And I think that's something that we should all ask ourselves, is that just because you're willing to sacrifice things doesn't mean you're always actually going to benefit from doing so. Well, I look forward to exploring some other avenues with Ame-chan and B-chan. I'm not opposed at all to some recommendations. If there's some interesting endings or story beats that you want to see or see talked about, let me know. But for now, that's where we're going to pause. Be good to yourselves, and I'll see you again next time.